Hey, welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown, along with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. Welcome back, guys.
Hey, man. How's it
Welcome
going?
back to you.
Yeah, definitely welcome back. It was a good long, 4-day bachelor party trip that I still don't think I'm 100% recovered from yet. But yeah, how was y'all's weekend?
Pretty good. Stayed inside.
Enjoyed your. Go ahead, Tim.
I was gonna say filled with wedding fun. That was my weekend.
That sounds horrible. Well, yeah. So I mean, hell, it's like with the big game. There's nothing better to watch or listen to, right? If you're watching live, or if you're not watching live, yeah. If you're listening to this as the podcast, or we watching the video later on, it's 9:00 in Atlanta on a Tuesday night, and there's nothing better on. This is what you should have been watching, because that Braves game is not worth watching at all right now.
Are the Braves playing a game right now?
I was going to say, two of us care about that.
Freddie Freeman just hit a home run to take the lead in the 8th inning.
That's kind of why I was a little slow to come back to the podcast.
Yeah, so I actually have the game on a little tiny screen here on my iPad, and I got my notes here. So I may be drifting between the two of them, but right now there's an Applebee's commercial, so we're good.
You don't want Applebee's now?
Not really an Applebee's fan. Even after that great song they had out.
I have no idea how they have stayed in business for so long. Nobody likes Applebee's.
It's all like the suburban people.
Suburban, non-city people that love the shit out of it.
I did. I was a suburban non-city person for most of my life, and Applebee's sucked.
Well, I feel like they are in a lot of places where they are the only game in town. So if you want to go out, that's what you got.
You got Applebee's. Oh,
I'm sure it's very, very popular down south.
they
Applebee's on every corner.
What's good to eat in Statesboro? Well, we got the Applebee's.
Matthew says that he went to Applebee's before Applebee's got revived. Yeah, they kind of did a big corporate redo of the whole thing that made it even more worse.
More worser.
Yeah. He liked Applebee's because no one else was there.
You do have the place to yourself. Yeah, it's true. You probably get pretty good service, right?
I don't know. Matthew, do they have really good service? I could not tell you the last time I went to Applebee's. But
yeah.
Anyhow, so let's talk about the game in Monroe on Saturday. I was actually unable, or I guess unwilling, to follow along with the game. We were out at a bar, and it was 11 of us guys, and so my phone was buzzing between the tweets and our group chat with our Patreon guys, and just texts in general. And so I really had no idea. I would kind of see things from time to time, like unintentionally see a message. I could not tell if we were winning big, losing big, or if it was a tight game. So when I finally checked the score late, I was really shocked to see that we had kind of just knocked the piss out of them.
Well, and what's funny about the score and how bad the score was for a long time is we didn't play very good. Like we didn't do anything impressive. I was watching, as I was sitting there watching, I was like, we kind of playing like crap and score 55 points playing like crap. It's mainly because ULM could not stop the run for the life of them. They could not stop anyone from running at all. In the fourth quarter, they quad was in. Granger started. I don't know if you knew that. Quad was in and ran it in like 30 yards for a touchdown on one play. And it's like, guys, you got to stop it. You got to stop the run.
I will say, I will probably surprise you guys. As I was nursing myself back to health, I did manage to go back and watch the replay of the game. So I actually have seen the game.
All right.
And unlike most of the games we talk about here, I watched it stone cold sober. So I kind of remember a little bit about what happened in the game. And yeah, that was my take as well. Is like, once I saw the score 55-20 and then go back and watch the game, and I was nervous watching it that first half. I know what was going to happen, but I still was like, his team is not playing like a team. Like, I was thinking to myself, if I'd been watching this live, maybe that last touchdown going into the half, I would have started feeling pretty good about it. But it looked like we kind of lucked into our scores. We had some big plays. They had some problems on their side, but yeah, Tim,
turnovers too.
Yeah,
right. No turnovers. That's huge.
And how many targeting calls on both sides?
4. There were 4 targeting
18.
calls.
18, actually.
It felt like 18. Yeah. So Tim, what was your take watching the game?
Well, I think we were all wrong. I think we all thought Quad was going to start, right? I think.
Yeah.
I still think Quad should have started. I don't understand. It didn't make any sense to me.
I feel like either quarterback could have come in and we'd have the similar performance, right? I mean, we have to probably tell ourselves stop rushing the ball every time because it was just working all night long.
Well, I feel like Elliott was really trying to turn Granger into a passing quarterback during that game as well. He was, he was really forcing a lot. I shouldn't say he was forcing throws. He was calling a lot of passing plays and deep, not just like, little short passes. He was throwing or calling a bunch of like 30, 40-yard passes that weren't really landing. Sometimes it was Granger's fault. Sometimes it wasn't. But by the end of the game, he was actually doing pretty good. He was making some connections. But then again, Monroe was pretty gassed, kind of giving up maybe a little bit. They're also just being Monroe.
That's what I got out of the game is that win, as big as it was, just doesn't give me a lot of confidence for the rest of the season, though. Like, I just don't feel like we looked great. Like, I hope coach is, took them aside. He's going to take the bye week and be like, you guys won big, but you look like crap. It was ULM. What do you want?
Yeah, I agree. There was so many plays that Monroe kind of like stopped themselves, and they could have turned a couple of drives into points easily, but they kind of got their own way of the whole thing. So I agree with you. I agree with you, Ryan.
Cool.
I'll
take it.
The very beginning of the game, what could have been a safety because of a stupid penalty turns into the play that I think that was their first touchdown drive. We literally had them for a safety in the end zone, which is where safeties happen by definition. And we have a penalty. We have a penalty. It gets them another first down, and they drive the ball all the way down the field and get a touchdown on it. That's their first score. So I'm like, what the hell? We could have thought better there.
I mean, that safety happened and was called back, and I basically was I was talking to a friend at the time, and I was like, well, Georgia State just can't have nice things. So of course that happened. Of course there was whatever that was, a face mask or.
What did you think about going for 2 with Michele on that very first touchdown point after?
It's fine, whatever.
Elliott
throw them all in there. Who cares?
Well, yeah, Elliott says he's going to be aggressive this season, and he has been. And I was like, what? All right,
sure how that's aggressive, but it's interesting.
I found it very strange. I was like looking up, and I'm like, I think I looked up for my my phone or something like that. And I'm like, I just see Michele running towards the end zone. I'm like, what did I just miss? What just happened here? And of course, then that was also called back for an offsides penalty. So that just went for the easy point. But that was strange.
I don't remember that at all. Sorry.
It was our first touchdown drive, or the point after, or the whatever.
Right on.
After some. Also, did you notice that there was a guy named Boogie Knight on their team?
No.
Didn't catch that one, no.
So it was like jersey said Knight on it, and his name was Boogie?
Yeah, it was a wide receiver. He also did their punt and kickoff returns, or just the kickoff returns or something. But yeah, Boogie Knight was his name. And I have not looked up to find out if Boogie's a nickname, but I really hope that they just in Louisiana, somebody was such a big fan of the movie. And they're like, hey, my last name's Knight. If I ever have a kid, I'm naming my kid Boogie.
I mean,
Braves win.
All I can think of is Booger,
Well, I wonder if he is like, if I have 2 kids, I can name them both Boogie, and they'll be the Boogie Knights.
Maybe that's true. Maybe that's what happened. We just don't know. We
didn't have the
Knight brothers.
Yeah, but also,
I'm going to continue this. I'm getting this joke a little bit longer, Tim. Okay. Since you mentioned referring to boogers, maybe that would be a great a nasal spray or something like that. Call it your nasal spray, the Boogie Knights. Because it sprays your nose and cleans out the junk or whatever.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay,
I don't even know what you're doing on this podcast. You should be in marketing.
I was a marketing major when I transferred to Georgia State, so it must have
We
been
should have more listeners with your marketing expertise.
that 1 or 2 semesters as a marketing major. All right, yeah, like Tim said, Braves just won. Go Braves! Won the NLDS. So, yeah, cool.
What's that mean?
It means they get to play more baseball. Yeah, they advance.
Oh, this is like a tournament division.
Yeah,
this is like the Super Bowl. Yeah,
they're going to the Super Bowl
if they win 5 more games.
Okay, got it.
They're going to the conference championship.
All right.
So now that we've concluded our education of Ryan on Major League Baseball, Tim, you were gonna get us back on track a little bit. What's up?
but I was just gonna say what you were saying about the broadcast. We didn't listen to it. There were requests to turn the broadcast off, just have the visuals at the rehearsal dinner we were at. It was on like a 20-foot screen. They were gracious enough to let my game play when there were other better games to watch out there that night. Like that Alabama game.
I think there's probably a lot of Alabama fans that would disagree with you on that, and they would say the Georgia State game is preferable.
Way better, much more entertaining. But I can totally see him with the, your comment about Boogie Nights. Like, was it Boogie?
Boogie. Yeah.
I can totally see them saying that on the ULM broadcast.
Oh yeah, they said the name over it was never just like, Knight back to receive. It was Boogie Knight back to receive.
Yeah.
I think
I didn't have a sound on, so
I think he may have actually gotten their first touchdown. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, he was in there. So I think that also if I heard it correctly, that the first player from their team to get the targeting call and ejected from the game against us was a transfer from Kennesaw State.
I didn't know that either.
So I'm thinking he probably had beef. I think that was intentional.
Maybe.
Payback.
I could be wrong. I could have heard things that completely different, but I'm going to go with the fact that there was a Kennesaw State transfer that was just out for vengeance because he wasn't recruited by Georgia State.
There are some of those targeting plays where I can look at it and be like, duh, that was clearly targeting. The guy put his head down and led with the crown of his helmet and like launched at the person. Like you can see it. I don't understand how you make the mistake and do that. Like you gotta work for that.
I don't know. For me, I think that 90% of targeting plays that I see, I think that just looks like playing really good football to me.
Sometimes, but I remember one of ours, maybe the first one. I don't know. I didn't realize there were 4 at the time. One of ours, I commented in our Patreon chat. Like that was definitely target. I mean, you could tell that was targeting.
The announcers had a big beef with the one against Granger, where he threw like that deep interception, and it got called back because of a targeting call on him. But it was like helmet to chest. It wasn't helmet to helmet or any of that. But I'm like, it's a quarterback. You're probably going to give him a little hard. But it looked bad. I mean, it looked like a missile, like straight towards his chest. And Granger's not, a big boy. He's pretty lanky. And man, I could have done some damage. He was kind of rubbing his chest afterwards. Yeah. I'm sure that hurt. But yeah, I don't understand targeting. I hear what you say, Ryan. I hear what they say on the broadcast. But I'm kind of like, to me, most of the time, it looks like just hard played football to me.
I think you're right. It's the obvious ones that I'm like, man, that's just like bad coaching or something. I don't know, because the obvious ones are really bad.
Yeah,
I feel like you'd encourage targeting, David. Yeah.
I would not encourage.
You just don't call anything.
Exactly.
It's not encouraging it. It just doesn't exist.
Did the guy get up afterwards? Okay, no big deal. That's also part of how I know that they want to discourage it to keep the concussions down. I think also part of it is to keep concussions down from the person actually doing the targeting.
Yeah,
as well. So they really want to do whatever they can to keep people from doing it. But I don't know. It seems like such a BS call sometimes. And then also the impact of the game. You're out for an entire game.
I hate that.
Ejecting somebody for the whole game or for like half of the next game is I think over the top. It's crazy. They should fix that.
They took
No
one
other
step,
penalty comes
right?
anywhere close.
And it took one step backwards. They don't have to leave the field now. They can watch the rest of the game, but they can't play. I don't know,
Right.
maybe that's worse. I don't know. Like, you get ejected for targeting, but no, now you got to sit here and watch.
Yeah, I used to be able to go back to the locker room in the air condition, take my shower, eat a Twix bar. Yeah, I don't know if you're left or right favorite. It doesn't really matter. And then and watch the game on TV with your feet kicked up. Now I gotta stay in full pads outside in Louisiana
Ugh.
and watch everybody else get to play the game, and I get to stand here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dumb. The whole sitting out thing, too much.
Yeah. I think
And they
overall for the game, though, I mean, I won't say that we were terrible, but we're supposed to win. We did what we needed to do. Didn't look fantastic doing it.
Well, I wanted to say there's like flashes of brilliance in the game, but then we're playing Monroe. So
you're overthrowing Monroe.
I'm just saying, like, that was a great play. You did that. Tucker Gregg looked like an absolute tank, just plowing through, and Jemias as well. I think he had a run where like he got through like 5 or 6 different guys trying to bring him down. Maybe that was Gregg, I forget. But yeah, we looked great. But I kept on telling myself,
it's Monroe
against Monroe.
Yeah, they couldn't stop anybody from running. You could have put me out there. I had to run right in the middle.
I would pay money to see you try to run the ball against
Monroe
in a Division III team.
I get all the pads and stuff, right?
Yeah, sure. Like that'll help. Yeah. I wrote some notes down, but I don't know what I said.
Okay.
I'm trying to read them.
You were impressed with Cradle, right?
Cradle looked great. Cradle and Payne both looked fantastic in the game. And Cradle, what a great name for a receiver too. Like, you just kind of cradle that ball right there as it comes in.
Yeah. I mean, we had lots of production out of the receiving corps, but I don't know. Where are the stars?
That's what I was gonna say. Is I think it's weird how good our backups seem. As compared to our starters, even.
Yeah, I guess we're technically starting our second string now with Granger being the starting quarterback and
Thrash,
Cradle making all the big plays.
So our second string is just better.
That's how arrogant. That's how arrogant we were against Monroe. Is like, hey guys, I know we have bye next week, but just go ahead and take another week off, and we'll start the backups. Actually, I did put in my notes to say in the second half, Coach Elliott was still going super aggressive, still throwing the ball deep. Had one that should have been totally caught even after we had gotten our last touchdown, and I'm like, I think at this point, I feel like Elliott just turned the second half of the game into another practice. Like he just kind of skated an NCAA rule and added a new practice. All right, guys, this is what we're going to do this time. Let's see what works. Let's try to run this play, see what happens. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But he didn't let off the gas whatsoever all in that game.
It's good. You shouldn't. Against a conference foe when the team is probably feeling down, let them get a little bit of that energy out. But again, they didn't look great. So I hope their confidence isn't too high.
Yes, absolutely. There's no reason why your confidence should ever be super high for any team that I cheer for. I'm sorry, guys.
My frustration was, I think Granger did his job. He made it, but you take that kind of game and you put Quad out there because he needs more reps to knock the rust off. I feel like I keep getting back to to kick the rust off. Right. The thing is we know Quad has it in him. Granger doesn't seem to, we don't know that. And give Quad the quality reps, because if he's not playing on the field, that rust isn't going anywhere.
Well, he did finally get in.
Aggregating on him as he sits there watching the game.
Yeah.
Well, he did get in at the end of the game and did have like some huge 24, 25-yard run for
30,
a touchdown.
28.
Was it 30 yards?
It was 28, but I said 30 at the time, and I was like, I was so close.
Yeah, I bet you went over. So 24-25 is is better.
Default is not Price is Right rules. I cannot stand it when people default to Price is Right rules.
That's because you always go over.
No, it's closest. Default is
Yeah.
closest.
$1. He went for 1 yard. He went for
have
1
to,
yard.
yeah, right. You have to say Price is Right rules.
You were right. You were right. You were. Yeah, it was strange. I did find it strange that I was really surprised when I found out that Granger did get the start to the game. He has looked great. We've gotten, our wins under him. We, played Auburn very, very well. But we all agree. I think everybody agreed that Quad was going to be getting the start. So
we don't make the big bucks.
I mean, Quad's looked at least as good as Granger has in any of these games.
Well, yeah, but and the funny part was what Granger brought to the table that Quad didn't was the ability to be more mobile and get around. But then that's what Quad does when he comes in there. He gets his 75-yard touchdown run. Ain't that right, Ryan?
75 yards? Yeah.
At least 75, yeah.
Something like that.
112?
32 yards at least.
Yeah. So I guess that means Coach Elliott said he was going to pick a guy and stick with him for the rest of the season. So I guess we should he's picked. We got Granger. Granger danger for the rest of the season.
It is Granger danger.
That does not give me high hopes.
Danger could be in any kind of aspect on this one.
It
could be a good thing or a bad thing.
So we'll go ahead and I'll ask you guys on the Andy Dalton scale, right? Because he is your perfectly number 16 in the NFL, right? Or back when he's not even playing now, right?
He's with Dallas.
Oh, whatever. Who cares? That's what I think of Andy Dalton.
I'm going to bring a story up about a guy and then not care about him whatsoever at all.
No. It's not a story about him. So he's the perfectly average. If you're worse than him, you're bad. If you're better than him, you're good. Where do you think Granger falls on the Dalton scale?
I'm not going to compare a college quarterback to an NFL quarterback because I think that Granger would definitely be behind Andy Dalton. Given the same everything, I would put Dalton ahead of Granger.
No. So take the scale and put it in NCAA terms.
Yeah,
normalize for NCAA.
I say he's. I mean, I don't want to be like super negative about anything. I think there's definitely talent there. There's definitely the football intellect there. It's not that he's a bad quarterback. He's just he's not. He's made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. What do you think, Tim?
I'll put him slightly below.
Below
Dalton. Yeah.
He's probably a little below Dalton.
Maybe a little more, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's kicking his rust off too. So
looking at a full resume of playing with us, where does Quad fall on that?
Oh well, so the full resume. So last year too.
Last year only.
No, probably a little above. Not much higher, but a little above. I mean,
yeah. And then Ryan, we put you last, 131st. Right, 131st team.
Okay, that's fine.
You brought yourself in the conversation by saying you wanted to run the ball.
Well, it was a joke about ULM, but I can run. I cannot throw a ball. So there's,
like, yeah, I would not be able to throw the ball. I can't throw a ball now. Like, so I'm so glad I have daughters, so that I don't have to worry about like that whole playing catch thing when they get older. But I'm like, I'm totally gonna have like tomboy girls. They're gonna be like, Dad, let's go throw the ball. Teach me how to throw a ball. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I can barely talk about football, let alone play it.
Made me a quarterback. I'd just like flea flicker all day. Just get it away from me.
I would probably mess up victory formation. Like I would fumble the ball on victory formation and like drop to the ground. Like when I saw what was his face, the Jets guy, I saw the butt fumble. I'm kind of like, yeah, it would totally be the butt fumble. Sanchez was it?
Yeah, I think it was Sanchez.
Sanchez, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. Good win. We have a bye.
W. Move on.
It's a win.
Get another W. Yeah, it's a solid win. I mean, we can complain about the way we looked all day long or talk about the inferior quality of the opponent, but we won the game by a lot. Oh, that's what I was going to say is like when coaches kept on calling these plays, trying to go more and more points. I'm like, he does know we can't actually take those points and apply them to
transfer them,
right?
Transfer to the app game. Look how close that was.
Yeah, it's these retroactive points. Like we're not going to change a game at all, but if we backfill some of these points from this game, it doesn't look so bad.
So, I mean, we know ULM's pretty terrible, but hey, they did beat Troy. So, what does that make Troy?
Who?
Troy State. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about Troy because
big question mark now.
They're technically ranked. They're one step ahead of us in the standings for the East Division, but that doesn't say a lot considering how few conference games have been played right now. Maybe Troy was sleeping on Monroe like everybody should be, because I mean you should never sleep on an opponent, but you know what I'm saying? Like that was the first conference game for them. They're like, all right, we killed these guys last year, so we'll just go ahead and do the same thing. But Terry Bowden out there, like looking like old school coach, like the suit and the tie out there. I'm like, come on, that's got to be miserable feeling.
In Louisiana.
In Louisiana, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, they're overachieving 2 wins, right? What are they projected at? Half a win, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. They're a big time over. One of those was their FCS opponent, which honestly, when I saw like their schedule, I was like that FCS opponent, I don't even know, like they're going to lose to those guys. I think it was Jacksonville State, but they did it. So
pulled it out.
So you guys weren't listening to the game.
Jackson
I don't know
State. I was curious.
Different one, but so you guys weren't
close.
I just put a little Ville in there. You guys weren't listening to the game, and I have no idea whether or not the commercials are the same and like the ESPN rebroadcast of it or anything. But my God, they had a 30-45 second trailer to the new Halloween movie playing every single commercial break, and the trailer just starts off with all these just horror scenes, but children just like saying trick or treat over and over again. By the end of the game, it was ear piercing. Like it was so frustrating. I don't want to see this movie now because I don't want to hear one more kid say trick or treat ever again.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't the same commercials because they only had like 2 or 3 commercials per break versus the 15 minutes per. But yeah, all right, yeah. So I guess there's not really much more to talk about football with the bye week coming up, other than hopefully everybody gets a chance to get healthy, learn some more, and prepare for homecoming against Texas State. Obviously, we'll talk about that game next week. So, the Armadillos coming to Atlanta for our homecoming.
Fighting armadillos.
All right.
Wait, are they fighting or they're just armadillos? What are they?
I never really understood by using like the the descriptor. That's an adverb, right? Because it's describing action. The adverb with their teams, like the Fighting Irish versus the whatever, or what are the other ones? There's more out there. Fighting. I don't know.
Sioux.
The Fighting Sioux. That's probably gone away with now.
I don't think so. It was North Dakota or North Dakota State, and I believe they got permission. Like they went and talked to the Sioux Nation, and like they were like, "Yeah, cool, we like it."
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Florida State says that it's all cool because they went to the Seminole Nation.
Seminoles, yeah.
And they're like, it's cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure Florida State went empty-handed to the Seminole Nation, did not give them any money or box tickets or whatever it is.
That's fine. If they paid for it, that's even better for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Name, image, and likeness, right?
That works for me.
I don't think the university's allowed to pay for it though. But
I don't know.
So we're just a little more than 3 weeks away from basketball. Ryan, can you feel it?
Ooh,
I can feel it. What? I don't know what I was gonna say. I was.
Can you feel it real good?
Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about this in the last call.
It got weird.
Yeah, I'm getting excited about basketball starting. There's not much to say about it. There was a little article that came out, just basically, Georgia State predicted to win the Sun Belt again, and they had a great line about the conference still knows or should still know that the championship runs through Atlanta, or basketball runs through Atlanta in the conference. That's cool. A lot of pressure on Lanier to actually make it to the tournament this year.
Yeah, I mean every year for that anyway, because we're always.
That's
Well,
the
just-
expectation, right? I mean,
just saying the extra pressure, having not made it in the first 2 years. But look at that. We're actually talking about a new coach coming in, and the expectation is still like, why in 2 years, why haven't we gone to the tournament yet?
Yeah.
right. The floor for him is the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Should be every single year go. That's right.
or Sweet 16.
You're gonna increase the floor a little bit.
The floor should be Sweet 16 every single year.
No.
Maybe if we get
Floor is
in
going.
for 6 years in a row, then you can up it. How about that?
Yeah.
If we get into the tournament 6 years in a row and go out first round every single time, are you still excited about what we have going on?
6
No.
years.
6 years. I mean, granted, Coach. Obviously, we had the win against Baylor, so it's. But I'm saying, Coach Lanier is here, and we go to the tournament 6 years in a row. We get bounced first round every single time, and I don't mean those little weird play-in game things. Those things suck. I don't even understand how they work.
Well, and we don't get those anyway. We are at least good enough to get seeded better than that.
Like I said, I don't know how those things work, anyways.
Yeah, well, I think really, really bad conferences go there because it's everybody. It's not FBS, FCS. It's everyone. It's just D1.
Yeah, and I know we're conference champions, so we get into an actual bid. So
either way, yeah, no, I think even with 6 trips to the tournament and 6 losses, I think it would matter what those losses look like.
Yeah, but at what point, Tim? At what point do we start getting frustrated and be like, "All right, now it's time to do something better. What's time to take the next step?"
4 years in, if we're not competing to like get past the first round 4 years in, there's a problem, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of the reason why I had no idea we were going to talk about this at all. I'm just thinking, and I don't know what my answer is either. But yeah, obviously, going to the tournament is the goal. But what happens when we start achieving the goal? Obviously, the goalpost has to move, and it's not just getting into the tournament anymore. Whether that is 4 years in, 6 years in, 12 years in, at some point, if this team continues the way we want it to be, getting in is not going to be the floor.
Yeah,
so
It's true. While we didn't get in last year, our conference did get relegated to the first 4. Ryan.
App State did.
Yeah.
so it depends on who it is.
It's how bad you are.
Yeah, because if we would have got in, we probably would have been seated a little better.
Oh yeah, we definitely been seated higher than 16.
So
Sure.
yeah.
They were
Did
the
they
lowest. Yeah, they lost by 1.
Good.
They lost by 1 in the first 4, but they were the lowest seeded team in the bracket.
They suck.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Hence why they didn't say put them there.
Matthew says first 4 isn't always bad teams, though. But we're going to say that it is. So
If it's the 16 seeds, yes, it is.
yeah.
The 11 seeds aren't bad.
So do you guys care what the other teams in the? I switched to basketball for some reason. I don't know. Do you guys care what the other Sunbelt teams did last week?
In basketball, sure.
Nothing. No one did anything in basketball.
USA, which had started off really hot, lost to Texas State in 4 overtimes.
Barn burner.
Yeah, USA has not won a conference game. Yeah, in San Marcos. Coastal beat the snot out of Arkansas State. And the trash down south falls to Troy. And since Troy lost to Monroe, that means that we are already transitively better than the trash down south.
We already knew that.
Yeah, I know. You don't need a transitive property for that shit.
Nope.
So
we got
we're better than them. So whatever.
You got Troy and Texas State this weekend, so we'll really know what's going on after that game. Troy State and the Armadillos this weekend.
Ryan, are you actually at Kennesaw? Are you taking your masters at Kennesaw State? You're saying a who like an owl, like to everything right now. Yeah.
No,
So
I just keep forgetting who Troy is.
Troy State.
And then I remember.
So yeah, currently in the East, now it's kind of the tiebreakers have kind of been settled, and Trash Down South is firmly in last place. So of East, which is great. And then, just like we expected, the West looks worse than the East. There's nothing really to talk about that, I don't think, other than the fact that Monroe still is third in the West and we're fourth in the East.
Yikes!
Wow, that doesn't seem possible.
But yeah,
Going into the season, we had such high expectations.
hey, when we started this, there was a game going on for this week. Is it still going on?
Yeah, it is 27-6.
Wow, yeah. So Lafayette is taking it to App State right now.
Yeah, Appy and Lafayette, man.
Yeah, I looked it up, and apparently Lafayette was a 7.5 point favorite. So I'm really surprised to see App not getting a touchdown at least yet.
I just hate that a lot. You know, knowing what Appy did to us. I just was very hopeful that we'd see them go off on everybody. You know.
Right.
Yeah, if a team's going to beat me, I want them to beat everybody else really badly.
Especially when they beat you like they beat us. You know, it's like, oof.
I still have like just PTSD from that game.
I know. I feel like they're still scoring right now.
Yeah,
like,
I'm still
against Lafayette.
No, actually, right now they are not scoring. I can tell you that for sure.
So maybe they thought they were playing us again, and it's just not working out.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not over yet. I'm not ruling App out. I think they have it in them to come back.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left. It's 13 minutes to go in the third quarter, so there's a lot of time. They're down 21 points. App State has a type of offense that can score points when they want to, but Lafayette has a type of defense that can stop it, apparently. So, hey, look at that. I didn't mean to bring that up, Matthew, but thanks for suggesting we talk about App in Louisiana or Lafayette.
Mm-hmm,
we'll do that. What else we got? Liberty is playing at Monroe this week, and they're a 33 point favor.
Jesus.
So if you follow the same math, we were a 19 point favorite. That could actually be a little slaughterhouse.
It'd be like Tech Cumberland.
Right. Somebody's scoring 3 digits, and it's not Monroe.
You know, I mean, they're down at ULM. Who knows? It's swamp.
Nah, but I think I'll root for Monroe.
I want to go back.
Should lose that game.
I want to briefly go back to the Lafayette Appy State game. I did put it on for a little bit tonight before getting on, and they had this really ugly yellow hazy, like just whatever.
It blurry.
It wasn't blurry. It was like you'd put a yellow filter or something over the entire game, and I guess that's just the stench of Louisiana being getting actually filmed.
I don't know. When they changed to the lower camera, the field camera, it looked really good. I'm like, just stay on that. Just never go to the high camera.
They forgot their Louisiana filters that usually filter that out.
Yes, well, yeah, that's on field though, Tim, because it's closer. But once you get it further up in the elevation, you start looking through it. You start looking through all the stench that is the state of Louisiana. Yeah,
that thick swamp air.
Thick swamp air. Yeah, even come to Louisiana, where even the air is swampy.
So I had the sound on for the beginning of the Monroe game, and they were like, "We're in beautiful Monroe," and I'm like, "What? Like, not even on the camera right now, where you see this like swampy ass, terrible whatever." I'm like, "This isn't even like, what are you talking about?"
Which Monroe were you in?
I muted them. I was like, "I'm done listening to you guys. You're clearly idiots."
I cannot listen to idiots talk. I do that on Tuesday nights already.
I was gonna say you should probably have muted all three of us. You should have muted all three of us right there.
All right, Matthew asked if we get invited to the New Orleans Bowl, would I go to the game? And the answer is a resounding no. I would not go to that game.
Wow. I would maybe try.
I'd go.
No,
you could stay on the border. Come on.
My stubbornness is only exceeded by my pettiness. So out of principle, I would not go to that game.
Isn't that the best bowl though? Isn't that the one that would be like the champion gets to go to that?
Traditionally, yes.
We'd be
that one.
Yeah. Unless you get into a New Year's Six bowl, right?
Okay, so we'd be champion.
Yeah. But it's also inside of
that
the
place.
Superdome.
Have they fixed it yet? I know it burned down the other week, right?
No. It's not been fixed ever. It's literally been broken since the minute it was built.
That was an enhancement to the overall aesthetic.
Yeah. No, I would not go to that game. So, 40 minutes in.
We didn't even talk about realignment. Are we going to wait for realignment?
There's a little bit of realignment news today.
Ooh.
It's not really news. It's not news whatsoever at all. But Conference USA has reached out to the American to try to basically do a reshuffle, a reorganization of their teams.
And everybody laughed really hard about it.
I mean, it's the little brother going up to his big brother saying, can I go on a date with your girlfriend? It's just not going to happen. But
the thing is this is like their little gamble, because they know that if they do this, they'll get a couple of good teams and they'll be able to. Part of it was a rebranding thing too, so they know that they are last place in the group of 5 at this point. They know that
they're effed,
suck, and this is like one little gasp of like, maybe we can salvage something, and everybody's like, no, why would we do that?
Well, the thing is, they've got to do something, but there's
that's not the thing that's going to work, though.
Oh, it's not going to work whatsoever.
We have this really terrible product, and we want some of your product. Can we take some of your product to make our product that's really shitty better?
Yeah,
we'll give you some of our shit, and then you give us some of your good shit.
Yeah, we're going to give you the worst that we have. You give us the worst that you have, which is better than the worst that we have,
right?
And then.
But it's regional. It's regional, man.
They're gonna end up taking Liberty before it's all said and done.
They'll probably have to
take them.
They'll probably have to.
I mean, that's what's gonna happen. So like UAB is gonna get snatched up by the AAC, and they're gonna end up pulling in. Liberty is probably the next up for CUSA, and it's gonna be their last best hope. And turns out it's just Liberty. So.
Yeah, so the proposed East and West conference they had. So They said the East Conference would be East Carolina, Charlotte, Old Dominion, Temple, Marshall, FAU, FIU, South Florida, Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky, and 2 potential new additions. So if they're going to have 2 potential new additions, that means it's coming from the Sun Belt. And so if we were to get into this new conference, it would be this Eastern one. Do those teams sound like teams you'd want to go be associated with? And
can you say the teams again?
Yeah, it's a lot of them. ECU. I do have a map actually.
I like
but I wasn't prepared to show it. ECU, Charlotte, Old Dominion, Temple, Marshall, the Florida schools, like literally all of them. FIU, South Florida, Middle Tennessee, and Western Kentucky. And then if they took 2 Sunbelt schools, it would and we were one of them, it would likely be Appy as the other one.
I mean, I wanted Middle Tennessee when we were joining the Sun Belt. That was one of the reasons I was excited. That's just a weird me thing, though. They don't bring a ton to the table, but Marshall does. And then ECU, I like ECU. They've been good for a little while. And they have a good fan base. I think they bring a lot to the table. So I wouldn't be sad about it, because I'm going to leave the Sun Belt. Who cares?
Yeah.
But I don't know if it doesn't. It also doesn't like get me going any kind of way.
It's marginally better, I think.
Yeah.
But I did make a map, and I was looking at it, and it really does extend the conference. That the footprint that we're in already. It would extend that to be much. The travel costs would go up higher for us if we were to move into a conference like that. I'm not saying that's the reason why we shouldn't do it. I'm not saying it's not worth doing it. It's on the Andy Dalton scale. It's just above a better conference to go into.
Got it.
I want us to stay pat. Sunbelt, 10 teams. F everyone else. I don't care.
But if Appy goes,
we gotta stay pat. Really, no one leaves. Everyone stays.
I know, but let's talk about if Appy leaves, because I think I have been on the bandwagon of staying in the Sun Belt now for a number of weeks, but with the prospect of Appy leaving, I'm like, oof, man, that's kind of a big that's a big hit for the Sun Belt. That actually changes a significant amount of like, which one would I decide we should be in.
At least the
So-
door open for Coastal to just continue their magic.
Coastal will fizzle out. David's right.
They will.
Well, it's like I said yesterday in our group chat. I don't want to be in a conference with Appy, but I don't want to be in this conference without Appy.
That's right. Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I mean, how much would that piss off the Trash Down South if like us and Appy went together somewhere?
What I think is funny, if you read all the message board fodder about realignment, is when they talk about how schools will move together and how Appy would not leave the Sun Belt unless the Trash Down South went with them. I'm like, they don't care about you. Yeah, like,
they don't care.
The whole Appy and Trash Down South moving up to Sunbelt at the same time was not because the two of them had made an agreement for it. They were kind of like, they both of those teams have been clamoring for FBS the entire time, and it's not, neither one of those schools was going to turn down that invitation if the other wasn't being invited. There's no allegiance there whatsoever at all.
Yeah, they knock on the door. Did you get in? Did you? You did? Okay, we'll come too. Well, that didn't happen. Like, come on.
No, it would just be like epic shit talk. I mean, that's really all it is. So,
not all it is. That's all it is.
They'd be like, you didn't make it because you guys suck. What do you want?
Yep.
You live in Statesboro.
So what's the word on it?
So also, what was interesting about this is we knew about Conference USA trying to pull this like little reshuffle thing, but this was just an AAC Conference USA thing. And our buddy Scott Watkins of the Sunbelt Pages says he's got sources saying that Conference USA delivered a similar letter to the Sunbelt, and Commissioner Gill just was like, no, we're not entertaining this idea. There's no advantage of us trying to split up what we got.
Even suggesting it like gives away their weak position.
Right. It's like we can pick off the one or two Conference USA teams that we would like to have joined in the Sun Belt, and you really can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
more or less, take your idea and shove it.
Exactly.
In a nice way.
So, all right, cool. It's pretty good, right? Pretty good night.
I think so.
I want to give one shout out to the men's soccer team. They knocked off number 13 Akron over the weekend.
All right. The Zips.
Which apparently I didn't write down anywhere because I can't find it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they 3-1 at Akron. There was actually a really cool video that they posted on Twitter of a bicycle kick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
For one of the goals. It was really, really cool. So,
all right.
Yeah. So shout out to those guys. Well done. Well done. They were playing East Tennessee State when we started this. They were up.
We won 2-1.
2-1. We won that one as well.
Nice.
So congrats.
We were informed that there was a pretty good crowd too. So.
Yeah, decent crowd out there. It looks like we had a picture. Looks like they do have the stands or some bleachers set up. A lot of people still in tailgate chairs. But yeah. We keep on saying we got to make it to a game, guys. We got to do it.
We got to do it.
Got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me. Park here. We'll walk over.
Yeah, just grab some walkies and get it going. So, all right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We're going to head over to Last Call and talk about some more stuff and about this episode. You can find it on our Patreon page. I figured out what it is. It's patreon.com/State of Atlanta.
Woo!
It's free of charge, available on Friday mornings or free to our Patreon members immediately. $3 a month. You get access to that, our private group chat, discounts on our merchandise, and whatever else I can possibly offer out to you guys to help contribute to the show. So check it out. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.